Good morning. All right, so this is the download that's been coming to me is if you've always kind of had this way of thinking that was outside the box or especially I think I'm thinking of like what's coming to me is like in relation to social norms, cultural norms, like things that certain rules and boundaries that other people just kind of seem to accept and or even just kind of like want to follow suit with, but you kind of have this different way of thinking, but maybe you were like me and you kept it to yourself a lot. And but you'll think, you might reflect back and realize that you've always kind of done things differently, or like you've always really maybe really embraced your freedom, and that was really important to you. And so then it's like when you start to awaken, you're asked to like embrace, speak, and embody your truth. And so more and more you separate yourself from others and you begin to stick out. But that's because you're also creating a new way and you're leading in a sense. But when I reflect back on certain situations, there's always been this like weird competitive energy with people around me. And it was like a lot of my friends that are still people that, and everyone I've ever met, like, oh, I appreciate and love them. But like, I mean, most people I have drifted away from, but I've always had this desire to like leave. I've always had ridiculously big dreams. And I've always wanted to be the first to do things, be a guinea pig in certain situations and be the first to do things and the leader thing. And I used to just chalk it up to like, okay, like I'm an Aries. Like that's why I'm like that. And because I also it's not like every instance I was leading a situation, but it's just interesting because you'll just start to see how it's like, it's this weird mix of like people look up to you or people see you as competition and get mad and like don't like it, or it's triggering. So it's like you always get this mix of the two, and it's always, so you're in a way, in some way or another, you always feel like you're sticking out. You always kind of feel a little bit like an outcast, or a little bit like you try to fit in, but you don't really. And it's just a very interesting journey because it's like, of course I get it. I can't expect other people to get it because they've had their own journey. Like they've lived their own life and they've had their own experiences, and theirs were different than mine. But it's a very strange thing to navigate, and then to continue to try to do and show up and do what's asked of you. And I heard Renegades of Funk the other day, and I love that song. And it's like, that's what it starts to kind of feel like, but it's also like you just still feel very misunderstood and like unseen and kind of underappreciated a lot. And I know that that's possibly something that I'm not opening myself up to see things differently, because of course it's not like I always get a negative reflection. But I understand how coming on and speaking things or like saying things that people are like, where did that come from or whatever, I can see how it's just like strange or triggering. And yet nonetheless, I'm still here trying to do it, because I think about my life and I'm like, most of my life hasn't been like normal, or I haven't followed like a typical path. And even now it's like trying to commit to homeschool and doing so many things on my own. But anyways, once you kind of more and more unplug from the matrix, it's like that devil energy it's truly attacking you. So it becomes this whole other like venture that you're on. So I wanted to speak that for anybody else who was on this path. And there's just something that's really beautiful about embracing yourself that gives you a strength to keep going, and makes you appreciate that you chose to do this in this lifetime, and that, you know, you have to just accept that you're going to deal with a lot of adversity, or like a lot of you're going to trigger a lot of people. You're going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Because you have to look at it from their perspective too, of like, why does this person think that they can do things differently? But you're like, well, I'm just following my inner guidance. So you kind of have to try to look at it from both sides, I guess. Because we're never going to have new here. We're never going to have leaders if somebody's not doing something differently. Like there has to be both, I guess, to me. All right. So let's get to the cards. We've got 10, 10 of swords and 10 of wands reversed. That's giving me like you got so overburdened that you just like let all of it go, or you just are like a burnout feeling. And then we've got devil energy. We've got the devil. We've got 9 of cups keeps showing up. So you must be, if this resonates, you do a good job of like keeping yourself emotionally content. Or that's something that you're working toward. I don't know. It's just so funny to me that, it's just so interesting to me that, I don't want to get sidetracked. I'm just thinking about it in relation to my life, and I'm like, I've made so many sacrifices to like do what essentially was put on me. And so, I don't know. It's just so weird. It's weird trying to show up and do selfless service in the situation that I'm in. I guess the underlying point there is that everybody has sacrifices and responsibilities that it's easy to forget and just play this compare game. All right. I don't want to get on the other side topics. All right. So we've got justice is playing out. There's been some voyeuristic behaviors, maybe from your enemies, from the ops. So justice is being called on that. That's the Knight of Swords. That's that, like, I'm going to get what I want no matter what. And that to me is like the big energy of like devil, that's like the energy that always comes around, is it's like, I'm going to get what I want regardless until justice gets called. And that's just how it goes. It's like, it's just cyclical. I don't know. Okay. This took a different path than I was meaning for it to. So we do have the Magician out here as a reminder to take whatever's coming at you and transform it. You're being given either new downloads or some new inspiration is coming in. We've got the Ace of Wands. Or you might be about to take a new journey. Something new is about to happen. 6 of Cups on the bottom. We also have 6 of Pentacles. So I need to balance things out in your life, maybe to balance out your finances. Yeah, there's a big energy of like needing to regroup and do things differently. And I think that being human, that's just a part of it. We have to continue to adapt. So don't be afraid to show up in your full energy. Like, that's one thing that I'm really grateful for in this whole thing, is like, I don't feel any need to apologize for that anymore, but I have to accept that it's not accepted or embraced or understood a lot. But at the end of the day, we're judged by the divine, and they accept and love us as we are, so you have to remember those things. Just be careful about, I got control issues from this card, from the devil card. And that might be as well why justice is being called, for having like voyeuristic behavior. So, just try to be mindful and take care of yourself. and embrace wherever you are on your journey. And don't feel bad if you choose to think, because that was I'm going to full circle it to like, if you think differently, like I said, it's like there's always going to be something that you're like, I need, because how it was for me is it's like you're living this double life for a very long time, where it's like you try to like play small around people, but then you like live this other life that. And it was easy for me when I had freedom, when I could like do things the way I wanted to. Then it was like, I didn't have to be around people all the time. I didn't have to like make a bunch of sacrifices and stuff like that. But then as a parent and as a single parent, I've been forced into a lot of situations that I had to figure out how to adapt and compromise and stuff. So then it's like, the healing was a big part of all of it. And then it kind of came all the way around to like realizing, oh, okay, now I need to embrace my truth. Now I need to speak more about what's on my mind and the downloads that I get. And then realizing that a lot of people are still not going to like that or accept it or whatever, but that's still the journey that I'm on. So, you do have to like step into it and own it and embrace it, but don't apologize for how your energy and your strength and your, like, that's the things that you'll pick up in this. Like if you've been doing shadow work or any of the healing modalities, like you'll start to gain this other resilience and these other like attributes, and you're like, okay, well now I'm just like embodying this, and you realize that's when you start to see how it's this light and dark, where you're not always accepted and embraced, even though you're just showing up as you are. So, all right, y'all, that's the message. I love you guys. I'm trying to regroup so that I can continue this, and any donations or support is greatly appreciated. You can like and subscribe. You can share this message. You can book a personal reading with me. I'll drop my email down there. So yeah, let's keep pressing forward.